Hello, I've been asked to explain about biotypes in if there are a difference between biotypes and your personality type. Well, this is interesting is how we think about this. You see, there is the biotype. The biotype is the type of person that you are. Okay, and that in Greco-Arab medicine there are four types. There's the choleric, which is the type which corresponds to fire. Then there is the melancholic, which is the type that corresponds to earth. There's the phlegmatic, which is the type that corresponds to water. Then there is this sanguine, which is the type that corresponds to the element air. Now, each of these types you can recognize them by physical traits. But you will also find that there are behavioral traits which correspond to the type. Now you're going to ask, well, why is this? How does this happen? Because when the embryo is being formed, certain organ systems in different people will receive preference. So they will develop. So they're stronger and they're more developed than in others. Now, what you're going to see is that you're going to see that will influence physical form and it will influence behavior or the pattern, the emotional pattern of that person. Okay. A way of understanding this, a practical example, is that the tissue which becomes the brain and the digestion is one tissue and it splits in the embryo. And when it splits, one part becomes the brain and the other part becomes the digestion. But the role of both of these parts is really to digest the world, to make the world you. So in the melancholic, you will find that the mind or digesting intellectually receive preference, and so that is stronger in them. Then again, the opposite of the melancholic in this case would be the sanguine, and the sanguine will have the strongest digestion. But usually you will find with sanguines that they do not possess the same intellectual rigor as the melancholic. So that's how it happens. Now, why is this important? This is important because this is important because when someone is ill, you will find that this balance of the body is now interrupted, and the person will begin to emphasize other traits. So we could say that organ system is weakened, or that pattern is weakened, so something else will arise. And so you'll see imbalances in blood, etc. And what we have to understand is where their natural balance lies on the spectrum of personality types or the spectrum of biotypes. And what we do is we help their body to recover its way to that. So that's why we've got 1, the personality type, 2, the biotype. The personality type is an expression of the biotype, and then we have the mixtures. So I'll deal with that in the next video. Okay, now to answer the next question about mixtures. Okay, because usually practitioners will tend to understand, or practitioners of Greco-Arab medicine will tend to understand that the person's mizaj is either Sauda or melancholic or phlegmatic or choleric or balghami, which is again phlegmatic. Yeah, or one of the 4 types, and that's it. I talk about the mixture, so I talk about melancholic phlegmatics, which is not really the whole story, because each person contains all of the elements or all of the humours. So that what we're looking at is the order of mixture or the order of organic system strengths. So when we talk about a melancholic sanguine, what we're talking about is a person whose the melancholic organ systems are strongest. Then after that are the sanguine ones. Then after that, we would know which other ones are there. But usually, just identifying two is sufficient to understand enough to return balance or to understand the behavioral patterns or the impulse patterns in that person. Okay, so yeah, that's what we mean. And yeah, that's it.